Yo, 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 yo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Producer's Lounge. Brought to you by Always 400. Folks who are new to this is our broadcast. It's a show about music production with no particular rhyme or reason other than that. So we're going to get into some fun nitty-gritty topics or not so much.
It's going to be a good night.
It's going to be a good time. Folks, This is episode 114, and it wouldn't be 114 without our special guest, user00215. How do you say it?
Go.
Like that.
Is that right? All right, sick.
Sounds straightforward, yeah.
Is it 00215?
You know,
is
I
it?
thought about it.
Oh, double.
Yeah.
However, anybody
I'm
really
sure
wants
you
to
did.
interpret it.
Okay, cool.
Sure,
All right,
sure.
cool. Well,
00215.
we got 00215.
Yeah.
I know, it sounds cool, right? Anytime you have a double O, like you might as well utilize, I'm user 00215.
Right.
guess
The
that's
name user,
Australian,
it kind of
but-
reminds me of like the, what is the bad guy from The Matrix? Who's
Mr. Smith?
Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like a Smith name where you're like a, not quite like him, but you're like a developer of The Matrix or something.
Right.
Definitely some of the ideas behind the aspect, for sure.
Right.
Oh, was it really? Oh, let's go.
It just makes me think of
nice.
internet culture, which is good.
Yeah.
I like internet. I like the internet.
Digital.
vibe.
Yeah, we're nerds.
Right.
Digital world.
Yep.
That's where we are right now on the internet.
Cooper says for the first time, "Hello, son."
That would be my dad. Hi, father.
Oh.
Thanks for tuning in.
Hello,
Shout out-
Father. Welcome to the podcast.
Shout out, Dad. Also, shout out Blast X Dubs. Am I saying that right? I feel like I'm saying that wrong, but he says, "I love MIDI fighters, but I'm a launch padder myself."
Oh.
Shout out that guy.
Just start
This,
controversy in the chat right off the bat.
I got this
Okay.
once upon a time because I thought I would like do live things, and now it's here
you
for
wanna
live
give him-
things.
Do you want to give him a demonstration real quick?
Not the
Alright,
live things
so-
you thought, but they're
We have just sounds,
classic.
and then we
Classic
have
sounds.
pitching down. Frequency shifter, by the way. You
Ooh.
can tell by the timbre. Oh, it's so nice.
That-
and then
that
we
is a
have
good one.
delay. Or it's like a
Fade to
fade
gray or
kind of thing.
Fun.
Yeah, super fun.
Good shit.
Let me see your launchpad do that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, let's see your launch pad do
Shots
that, dude.
fired.
I'm kidding.
God damn.
He says, also, Aznadel should know me since I remixed his song, Bioluminescent.
You did, you dirty dog.
Oh, shit.
I know. Wow. Yeah,
Big
it's
ups.
pretty fun. I don't think you guys have heard it yet. I'll show you at some
The
point.
remix? I
Yeah.
have not heard this remix. I wanna
Dude,
hear this
homie
remix.
was just pumped on the track, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna
Well,
can
let
you
me
send that
remix.
over."
Yeah, dude. Shout out to
Do
you.
that in the garage later.
Yeah. He.
Oh, yeah.
What's something really cool too is like you remix the cover art as well. You like put your own little flair on that.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
was
Who
pumped
is
on
this
that.
guy? I like this guy.
Slayer.
Damn. This
Or
guy's
gal.
grinding out here.
Um,
Blast X Dubs, the gal.
it kind of makes me think,
Still my favorite remix. Let's go.
is that supposed to be like a Pokemon thing, like Blast X?
Oh, like
Dubs?
Blastoise.
Yeah, that's what it makes me think of for some
I
reason.
kind of see that. Yeah.
Reminds me of an Xbox gamer tag. No offense.
Okay. No.
Blast X _
I mean, we
Sniper
are on
X.
a gaming platform here, so.
Yeah, and we like gamer tags
Yeah,
here
true.
in this crew. I don't know, my
True.
friend came up with it.
Faux hunt it all day. Obviously,
Yeah, always 400.
the gang.
Yeah, it's our tag, 400. You can
Yeah.
see 400 CTYA is in chat right now.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, man.
So how are you, man? How are things?
Doing great, actually.
Good.
Got to make a really big show announcement today.
Let's go.
Ooh,
I saw that.
that shit.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the headliner was, but
So it's the
Oh.
Monster Cat takeover at
Some-
Meow Wolf.
ooh,
It's a Monster Cat takeover. Yeah.
Yeesh.
Fucking
Let's
huge.
go.
You're playing.
One of the main stages. I'm just
Let's
not
go.
sure about the deets on that yet.
When
More
is
to
that?
come. September 23rd.
You heard it here, maybe 3rd, September 23rd.
Look at crits up in the chat. Just
Hey.
Oh,
Here
what's
to-
up, buddy?
here to type swear words.
Fuck.
He has started it with the F word, which I will say is a pretty good start.
Yeah, it's a good
when
start.
it comes to curse words, you know, I mean, you're leading strong.
The most common
You know.
follow-up
Right.
word after crits is
Whoa,
crits
easy with-
fucks. So
Crits
it's
fucks, dude.
appropriate.
That third one is a little risque.
Sorry.
Um,
Yeah, that's pushing it. It's pushing it. It's a bad word.
so I'm going to start off the show strong with this topic.
Oh.
But I was watching some things. I was watching something and it got brought up. Can't remember what it was, but mid-side clipping. I know on the show we talk about clipping a lot.
We
And
really like to
it's-
split up our
its
clippers
benefits.
too.
We've talked
Right.
about mid-side OTT.
We've also talked about multi-band clipping, like on your lows, your mids, and your highs. But mid-side clipping
It's very nice.
is kind of a fun. It seems
Dude.
risky, like most clipping. You know, like
Yeah.
your
Oh,
your
yeah.
hard clipping signals, and the sides are going to be kind of delicate, depending on your mid information there. But where would you guys use that? Personally, I would just use it on like the master kind of thing to kind of tame things out.
Oh, the
I
master.
could get into
Okay.
that. Yeah.
But, dang, he's clipping mids right now. Says Crits. Holy
jeez.
shit, dude.
See, I'm going the other direction though. I'm clipping those sides.
You clipping sides?
I'm gonna clip those sides heavy, and I'm gonna use it on a power sound, if you
Oh,
will.
okay.
Power sound, yeah.
You know, one of those sounds that you want it to sound like it is maximally smashed,
Mm-hmm.
which is such an art
Mm-hmm.
to pull off.
It fucking
It's hard.
is, dude.
It's hard, but hard clipping the sides, kind of into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to
Yeah.
say a similar thing for sure, like main bass, drop sounds kind of thing. Play with that a little bit. I don't know if I would prefer mid or side. I don't know. I'd have to play with it.
I'd do both, but it's just kind of to taste.
Yeah, yeah.
In my current state, where I'm at in the production field, I'd say sides, just because
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how to add more stereo depth.
mhm,
I
mhm.
feel like that would
Well,
help.
Sure.
theoretically, if you clip, at least in my brain, if you clip the sides, then you're going to have a little more headroom in the sides, even though it kind of shares headroom with the
Yeah.
mids.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
could argue, but
If you clip
so
it,
you
you get to
could-
turn it up.
right. So you can make those sides more present, i.e., giving you more width.
Right.
So
Mhm.
clipping those sides, yeah. Yeah.
How would you approach the setting up your little rack or whatever to split the mid and the sides? And then what kind of clipper would you use for it?
Well, since
we use Bitwig,
since I'm
so.
in Bitwig, it just has a container that's mid-side split,
oh,
and I don't have to do anything. I just load different
Yeah.
plugins.
It's
on
just
the
right
mids or
there in the
sides.
software for you.
that's nice.
If I was in Ableton or anything else like that, you could use mid-side mode on EQ8, put them in a chain, have one that's just mids, one that's just sides.
Yeah, you could use the utility.
You could use utility.
Yeah. Just change it to mid-side mode,
Yeah, you could use
then
Pro Q.
mid and sides.
Like, there's many ways to like split it, and I would probably do something like that. An EQ would be kind of nice because then you can fuck with the crossover. And I think Bitwig's
Yeah.
has a crossover,
Mm.
but
Oh,
I'd have to check.
crossover for what?
Mid-side
crossover?
No, because it's not using EQ. So yeah.
You
it
could.
doesn't
I
have
mean,
one.
you can use Pro Q to do it if you want to.
right, or EQ8. 'cause
Yeah.
it has
EQ8
Mid-side
will do
mode.
mid-side.
Another first time
Cheers,
chat?
Grammy Mouse. What's up?
Oh,
Is that your grandma now?
that's my grandma.
Yes, she made it.
Yeah.
What's up,
We love you,
Dad
Grandma.
and grandma.
Yes,
I love the username. Yeah, that
Yes.
was something we called her since I was like 3.
Grammy Mouse. You are the best.
Showing up.
And
Force is like,
Serene.
no, it's not my grandma.
Dang, and Serene's here.
Welcome to the party.
Jesus.
I'll keep my cussing to a
Dang,
minimum.
you pulled out everyone
Shit,
from the
dude.
chat, bro.
I
You're,
know.
you're popular. We got to get you back on here.
Um,
I'm always down.
Let's go. Let's
Very
go.
excited.
so
Do you use mid-side much at all?
Like everything that I'm using in Ableton's pretty bare. Like I don't have
Sure.
like a lot of plugins yet.
Keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm trying to just focus on super solid mix downs.
Yeah,
Right.
you were
Right.
saying that, which is, yeah.
Right.
I know that grind.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah,
grind
I know that
very
grind, too.
well.
Yeah.
I
It's
see
good.
too much too that people are like, don't start buying plugins. You haven't figured out the plugin you already have.
Well,
you know, so
Yeah, definitely
It's
don't
so tempting.
buy plugins.
Well, yeah, don't buy them.
well,
I mean,
Wait.
there are other ways to get plugins.
Yeah, you could just go to your friend's house and use his. Like,
Yeah, well,
It's
obviously,
fine.
the ones that they paid for.
right.
Right, of course.
And the ones they didn't
Yes.
pay for because they're your friends. I'm not going to say any names, but some people are bad people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And until you get to like a certain level where you're making money off your music, like it's kind of understood where it's like, yeah, you just grind and you do the sketchy
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
for a
I
little
mean-
bit.
you're making certain investments elsewhere that are a little bit more
Yeah, like your
prioritized.
Yeah.
your utility bill
Yeah.
and your car payment. So you can get back to work. Like,
It just
or
costs to exist.
Sorry, Ableton, you're $900.
Right.
Fuck me.
Yeah, Jesus, and you crash like every other minute.
Yeah, like Jesus. Yeah. Nice. Multi.
What I on a song that I was like kind of trying to get a little bit of a master going recently, I went and soloed my sides, and one thing I found was I had like something that was really hitting the sides, and then most everything else was not fucking hitting the sides.
Oh, yeah.
So I put a heavy compressor on my sides and just clenched down on them, and I brought it up a little bit, and I did like heavy amounts of fucking bullshit on my sides on my master.
Yeah. A lot of processing.
Yeah, I did a good amount of processing.
Okay.
And it fucking worked great.
On the
just-
master, ballsy move.
yeah,
always
I mean,
scares me.
Tighten it up, baby.
there's something to
Yeah.
be said about processing the whole
Oh, big time. Yeah.
signal chain. It's definitely a different practice than processing just a signal
people
vocal
will
or a synth or something.
Thumb their
Yeah.
nose at that idea for sure.
It reminds me of like just throwing a track through like a tape emulator, like back in the, or I guess, like actual tape reel
Err.
kind of thing.
Right.
Nowadays we're doing the emulators, but
Sure.
yeah, you just throw that on the master kind of thing. I had this weird phase like 3 years ago where I was obsessed with like automating and processing the master, but with like weird effects in a specific moment. Because I didn't know, or maybe I did, but I just didn't play with it at the time, that you could just like resample the whole thing and then just process that thing there.
Right.
So I would have like giant automation chains on the master with like grain delay coming in here on the build up or the drop and just like making everything chaotic and
Hilarious.
muddy.
Your master is just like scrolling. You're like,
Dude,
dear
yeah.
God, where's the limiter?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. It was a good time though. I had fun. I learned a lot.
That's why I
explored.
split my master up. I put a separate channel that is my master channel.
Correct.
Before it actually goes to the actual master.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel better about it when I fucking
Exactly.
put random shit on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You get a little bit of touch on each of the stages of grouping on the way to the master
Right.
as well.
Right.
I get given that by myself,
Sure.
Yeah.
and I gladly take it.
Yeah. Sure.
Same.
Forrest, you're talking about you're putting a lot of focus on like the stereo field lately. What have you like learned from that, or like what are some little moves you've been just playing with?
It's actually a great question.
I really love random auto panning.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Does Autopan have a random?
Yes.
It does in Ableton?
Yes. It's the like in the four.
Oh,
the,
I think
the
I
four
do remember
options in
that.
the corner to change the
Oh yeah.
the way that the panel works.
You're right. The weird little like square.
Yep.
Ones?
We're all about
Yeah,
randoms.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah. We love randoms.
Oh,
That's sick.
randoms are my
And
favorite.
then you can change it from like I think you can change it to the setting of like it's a little musical note button. I'm still
Right,
bad at all.
right.
I
So
know,
you're-
I know.
you're
I know what
good,
you're
you're
talking about.
But that'll change it to like a quantized.
There's a
offset
drop
too.
down
Yeah.
that gives you a few options.
So I
Within
like
the
to run
plugin.
with like 3/4. It's really weird sometimes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Throw a
Okay.
different offset on it.
Fuck
shape
yeah.
it.
Totally.
some.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's sick.
I'm a huge believer in that. Autopan master
That's
Autopan the Master.
Barbie
yeah.
bitch.
Is that another new chatter?
I
Welcome to
actually
the
do
party.
autopan the master, obviously. So
Dude, yeah.
Do you know who that is?
It's a
My
slick
wife.
move.
Oh, big ups, Barbie.
Oh, that does
Shout
sound
out.
like a wife comment.
Shout out the wife.
I like when the homies come on that don't produce. They're like, they throw out terms
right.
that they know, but they don't
Autopan.
exactly know
Right.
what they're saying. I love
But that actually
shit.
works. Autopan the Master, like in the session.
Encouraged autopanning the master.
I love it. Shout out Barbie. Let's go.
I'm the best chatter. Well, fucking prove it.
a good,
Get in chat.
Bet.
Let's go.
a great studio asset.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. Hell
yeah. Yeah. That's cool though. Okay, so are you taking that?
Well, that and the other thing that I've been trying to do a lot too is like I'll definitely layer my different hats, like closed and open. I normally keep one just pretty centered, and then I'll use like my layer. I'll keep like one pan left, one pan right, and I bring it in just different aspects of the song to help add more groove to the high end and whatnot. But
Spice it up a little bit every
Okay.
once in a while.
Yeah.
A little more stereo player.
I didn't hear like shit tons of reverbs on your tracks.
no,
Which I enjoy that very much. That's a compliment from my side of things.
Thank you. The only time I'm ever really throwing it in there is on claps when I feel like they're not like standing out enough.
Right.
And then even so much, like there's one that they're pretty heavy on and I'm like, damn, this sounds like shit.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Reverb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another just portion of the balance of all the fucking things that you're keeping track of while you're making shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're spinning
I-
plates.
Actually,
Oh, yeah.
100% honest, completely delete the reverb channel. On my template, I don't
Oh,
have it.
yeah.
Yeah, same. I don't have
Same.
one.
Yeah, I know, right? The little send channel enabled send. Yeah, dude,
I don't think I have one.
it feels good, right?
I will occasionally use them. But
They're
like,
awesome for
it,
that.
it took me a
but-
long time to like get comfortable and understand like when and where I need to use a send reverb kind of thing. And there's two places in my brain: either using it as a like thing to automate a sound into a room and let it like ascend. You're sending it,
Right.
or just as a room for just this hi hat, this clap, and this synth get like just here, so
a
that they
little
just
cute
kind of
bit.
are sitting behind everything else,
Yeah.
like shit like that. But like most of the time, I'm fucking dry.
With the recent breakbeats adventure I've decided to take,
Let's go.
I discovered that the use of the reverb right on that break is rather vital to give it that extra little fill flair. So I guess that would be the only heavy use in my near future.
Have
that I
you
can see.
have you fucked with convolution reverbs much?
Oh,
So Ableton, like the hybrid reverb, has a convolution on the left side, and you have the blend knob between the convolution and like the standard reverb algorithm kind of thing. But convolution reverbs are based on an impulse of an area. At least that's the idea. Is you would go in a room, record the way the room picked that up, and then you get that back with the impulse into a convolution. So what you get is like a roomy EQ kind of out
Right.
of it. And
With
if you
a lot of
if you make them
character.
super short, you can get like a room. It will sit in the mix, especially in a way,
Right, it'll be like slightly off to the left and down or whatever.
Yeah,
and
it'll
back.
it'll feel weirdly like it's in a space of its own, which is a really fun thing to throw on things.
Placement.
Like you put it 100% wet, and then like you make it short, so it's not ringy at all.
Right,
it
right.
just kind of sounds like the sound, but it's in like a fucking box of some
Right.
sort. And then if you go and like browse through different impulses, you can just sit there and listen to your song and browse through and be like, ooh, this one like really pops out in a
Right.
fun way. Just as like those convolution reverbs are fucking, I love them so much.
they're so sick.
Like I cannot talk more.
Yeah, probably
about them.
overuse convolution. It's on like probably over half of my
Really?
sounds.
Fuck yeah.
On like sometimes
Yeah.
it's just like 10%, but it gives it all the body it needs or whatever. DJ Kaiju says he has this guy's autograph.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be worth some money one day. Hold on to that for a while.
Dang. Big sheesh.
Yeah. Convolution is unreal, though. In Ableton 11, they introduced the hybrid reverb, which is their like new convolution. Because I think in 10, it was literally just called convolution.
It was a max for live.
Yeah.
It was convolution
and
reverb.
that one might
and
still
it would
be the
crash your shit.
Yeah.
It is the best. It is sick
the
as
goat.
fuck.
Was it better than 11? I like
yes.
never used that one.
It would crash,
10.
but it would put things in like the most beautiful spots.
Yeah, it was a really good convolution reverb. It's probably still there. It's got to be still there.
Yeah.
Use it, or I mean, use the hybrid as well. It's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can just hard select the convolution side and then do your shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
But like convolutions are crazy. You could put like a rhythm. You could put like a break in there as the impulse, and it will like
like
it's an LFO or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's pretty cool.
It's so strange. I saw Virtual Riot did a really cool trick where he was using it was during one of his drops. He had like his main bass sound, and then he had some melodic stuff over it, and he took like just a little tiny like pluck from one of the melodic elements and threw that in as the impulse response on the bass sound. So the bass's reverb kind of had like a hint of
That's such a good move.
The original
That's so sick.
lead kind
the
of
original
thing.
lead thing. Yeah, it was like reverbing the lead from the bass, and it just made everything kind of like glue together.
Yeah, that's super.
Oh,
And it
that's
was just
genius.
it's fucking
Jesus.
genius, yeah. And it
So
was like
good.
this cool reverb tone. Like
That's
I
dope.
saw that and I was like, oh shit, yeah.
Who was that?
Virtual Riot.
Virtual Riot. Shout
Yeah.
out.
Fuck it,
I'm
that
down,
dude.
I'm down.
Yeah. nerdy genius. He's so sick. I love him.
Dude, that's badass.
Yeah. So that's a cool move. Go play with that. Go play with that, crew, because that's a really weird one.
Do you have any like kind of moves that you've been toying around with? Like any little tricks you've been toying around with in the DAW recently? It's an open-ended question, so I'm sorry if it's too broad.
No. Honestly, the biggest thing that got me into Ableton was actually one of West End's like 1 hour track videos, and that was because I had the hardest time going from finger drumming in the MPC and building everything there, which was
right,
and also like very broad. Like they had a lot of stuff you could do. It was very in depth, but the knowledge was limited, so it was hard for me to find stuff that like helped me because it's more hip hop based. That's what people are using.
Totally.
It comes loaded with lots of packs for tech house and everything else. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to use it for this, of course. And the only EP I have out right now I made in Akai, but I didn't really start to grasp.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds like a good time. I could spend a year just like
it's so much
building music on an Akai just for fun.
Right.
The original plan was to build a set and perform. I didn't want to DJ.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. And that's like just kind of what broke me. And I performed it for DJ Kaiju, and he threw me into a collective. And the dude who ran the collective hooked me up with a controller, and that's how I ended up DJing instead of performing. But I started producing. I wanted to start with production first and learning every aspect of that because that's what it's about for me is the love and passion of music and sharing it,
Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
But the jump from finger drumming into like just straight DAW with Ableton and the aspect of like audio waveforms or even trying to make MIDI tracks was like damn near impossible. And I sat down, I watched that video over and over, and I basically built a track, one of my first tracks in Ableton, 100% off of his video. I just, used my own elements and sounds, but I think Chris said it's his favorite. It's like
hell yeah.
And the little catalog of unreleased stuff I got right now.
Oh,
so
that's what's
Yeah.
up.
Let's go.
Right now, aside from trying to learn as much about using it, I've also noticed that all my arrangements are the same. So I'm trying to like more so dive into like I was saying earlier. I want to do like I want to start different. Like I keep starting with bass lines and kicks and then building out the drums. I want to start with the melodics on the next track and change that. That's like the one thing I feel like all my tracks are missing too. And another aspect I'm kind of having difficulties with because like I feel like all my leads and arps, I want them to be more so like my sound, like the sound that I'm finding in what fits my brand, and it doesn't seem to so much fit the style of like leads in the current, sound. But trying to break break
Right, of
rules.
course.
Yeah, you
know,
have
but
to
I have
eventually.
to understand them well enough first before breaking them. So,
I love that.
we're coming along. We're coming along.
I fucking love that so much. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
So you've been trying to kind of break out of whatever like kind of formula you go when you go to arrange songs.
Essentially, and it all just starts, like I said, bass line, kick, build out the drums. I got an 8-bar loop, turn it into a 16, run it back, and start from the intro, adding, removing, whatever, and just finding the right things along the way. Probably overproduce the shit out of it with too many sounds and whatnot first.
Yep. Then take it away.
Take some raw feedback, take some
Yeah.
shit away, and then I'm pretty happy with it. But like I said, I feel like I'm just like cookie cutting everything right now.
I think that's a good instinct. I think like one thing with proper artists, I feel like one thing it obviously comes down to like knowing what you're doing. Obviously, that's like a number one thing, and then from there's like a level of understanding what things are popular at the moment and kind of, maybe finding inspiration in the stuff that you enjoy that's happening right now. And then the other thing is like, it really all boils down to the process that the artist is using. Like, I think the process is the thing that makes the artist sound like a sound. Like,
I agree.
I do these things, therefore it sounds like something that I made because like there's there's a quite the kind of
process
set up
Yeah.
beforehand.
A good example would be like Skrillex is obsessed with like vocal chops,
Right.
Yep.
and you can always kind of hear like this something he does where you're like, that sounds like a Skrillex vocal chop compared to whatever other person. So yeah, some way
He probably
he's
chops it the same way every
time. Yeah, right. Yeah, he's got a
come
method,
on,
and he
yep,
makes it
his
fucking
formula.
work, and it sounds sick as fuck.
Yeah, which is why you want to experiment with your process and figure out like what actually makes you feel good. When you're
100%.
doing shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a long road,
Yeah.
years and years to figure out like what is my process.
Yeah. My process currently is very easy to
Same.
describe. I just I might make a beat, I might not. I will make a sound. I'll probably put a melody to it. I'll probably have an idea of like the tempo that I want to make or something. And then I will just make fucked up versions of the sound. I will fuck it up as much as I can.
Randoms.
So I can, with randoms and record it out long and just fucking just dial in just as many random things as I can. And then I'll just go pick fun things from that, and I'll find a little loop or something here and there. And then that'll be the song. But like what happens is all my songs are kind of that way. So they kind of start to sound the same, even though they're ridiculous.
Right.
Stupid fucking shit.
Right.
I've discovered that I'm definitely not the only one who feels that same problem, but I guess I need to reference more. That was the other thing I wanted to try and do, and then I kind of want to figure out Serum pretty well because
Let's go.
I've started to write more bass lines on my own and get away from samples as much. Chris sent me a wonderful video about using white noise to make your own hi-hat sounds.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go. We've talked about that on this.
White
pod a lot.
noise.
I think we talked about that with Chris on the pod actually.
Yeah.
So I haven't done it yet, but I watched the video once or twice, and I'm like, I gotta do this, and it's more, it's more
It's
so
super
about
easy.
like the patience of like learning it,
Yeah, but
or
once-
applying
once-
it after just like watching it.
Once you figure it out, you can save it as a preset.
True.
So then you can always bring it up and then
That
tweak
is such
it
a good
from there.
thing to get into.
But-
Caleb's so good at that.
Yeah.
But it's also nice about just understanding how the synth works. Like hi-hat's such a simple thing to make in it that you'll get to use kind of some random bits and kind of it's a good intro to Serum, I would say.
Yeah, and like sound design in general. Yeah, it's probably like I would assume it's probably the easiest way to
Right.
to
You're
figure it
not
out.
you're not
It's super
dealing
simple.
with anything super complex, but there's still lots of variety. So there's like lots of choices, which is good because once you start fucking with sound design, you have to wrap your brain around the fact that it could go anywhere at any moment.
Right.
So starting somewhere simple is good to kind of get your brain to be like, all right, I have a lot of choices, but there's only 1,000. It's only 1,000. It's fine. I can handle this. Let's just pick one and just roll with it.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I did explore a lot more with sound design when I was using the MPC. They had a few different like built-in plugins, but they're not good. But you could find something with a preset and have like all the same controls in a sense. And it, of course, not knowing what I'm doing, I'm just turning knobs and changing the attack and release of this and blah, 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 So,
Yeah.
and sometimes it would work out and it would be what I thought would be cool or sound cool. And we would run with it. But my main source of everything is Splice. I splice everything like so much. That's
Dude,
it.
it's an amazing resource, right?
I splice a good amount.
Yeah.
You'll never tell because I'm sneaky.
You always gotta, chop it up, throw some sauce.
I
on
fucking
it.
destroy that shit. I throw that shit down a furnace. It comes out the underside like a pad when it's like a hi-hat loop. They're like
Right. For any one that you pull in,
it has to be.
It's like 50% that it's going to end up just being in a pad.
Yeah.
I think about
all right.
mainly I'll do tops and do like the little transient trick.
Of course,
and
Ableton's the boss for that exact fucking reason.
That's like my infamous thing. Or I'll just, of course, like change the placement of sounds in a sense. That's a lot easier than it was in Akai. Like Akai, you can
I'm
really
sure
do any. Like they had some cool chop capabilities in a sense, and I used it a lot for vocals. But when it came down to like actual like sound samples, it was not it at all. So the switch was amazing for me. At first, it was track after track. But my current process that I've always found pays off the most is I always just get this weird gut feeling, like this internal, like I gotta get in the lab. I just gotta start working on something. I don't know where I'm going with it. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's
the
open up
best.
Splice.
It's the best and the worst.
The universe just like, come on.
It'll
You're
also
feeling
make
it.
you call in from work.
There's
And
been
then
temptation.
once you've called in from work, the inspiration just
disappears, right?
and you're like, what?
I know. I hate that shit.
No. I just said I was sick.
It's probably the
I
guilt.
need to be inspired right now.
I know, yeah, the guilt
Why?
takes over and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, it's fucking
All right, I'll play video games.
right. And then you kind of feel bad, but also you're like, well,
Yeah.
I need
yeah.
Still good.
mental day.
So you brought up needing to reference more.
So the track that I played for y'all today, that was my goal. I was actually, it was Lights is Blue by Sage Armstrong. I was like, this is what I want to roll with.
Shouts out Sage.
I also have that song.
That
as
actually
a
makes
reference.
sense. I thought about that.
Hilarious.
I thought about Sage and that crew.
I fuck with Sage so heavy. Sage and
yeah.
Arnold and Lane are like them.
Yeah,
sound
I'm more
right
of,
now is-
well,
We used to
I
take
was-
massive inspiration from them
yeah, I was going to
in
say
our tunes.
Franklin Watts, but more like 2 years ago, Franklin Watts. Like Franklin Watts now, I don't know. It's still good, but it's less on the techie vibe that it was. Like, but he was almost going like a Loco Dice kind of route, and then he kind of went Chicago, which I was kind of bummed about. But
A lot of people went Chicago.
yeah, I love just Loco Dice, just rhythmic fucking one melody little bit every once in a while, and it just rolls the whole time. I fucking love that shit. But I am a huge proponent of referencing, even though I myself like forget to reference constantly. Like always, I'll just like be driving to work in the morning, like, oh fuck, dude, I need to do that more. Fucking fuck, But one of the biggest things I do, and I just did a while ago, is arrangement reference.
that was the goal.
Right, where I strictly bring in, I'll like make a playlist on Spotify of a bunch of tracks that I want to reference, whether they're pop or R&B or house. Like I just kind of, I don't care if I hear a song that I'm like, whoa, this is weird. Where are we? Are we in the bridge or the chorus? I have no idea where we are in the song right now. Like I'll be like, oh, this is cool. I want to inspect it,
Right.
basically. And so then I'll just like MP3 rip them because I'm not like concerned about the quality. I just want to bring them into the DAW
Right.
and then sit there and like kind of
Look at it.
warp them all to grid because I'm not really concerned about the tempo either. I just want to see where the changes are.
Yep.
And I'll make MIDI blocks or skeletons basically where I just have the track. Actually, here, I will pull up this exact thing right now so that everybody can see.
Pro
in
tip,
the
everybody.
DAW with always
It's a-
400.
It's a free podcast, everybody.
So here you can see I have Tech House. So here's the actual track. And then here is just a MIDI skeleton. Intro, break, drop,
okay. So
drop, added. And then there's a couple times, like I keep it kind of simple so I can then just kind of go in and be like, okay, what exactly is happening at this drop? Okay. Of course, it's at
Fast mode.
164. You know, like what is added here and then what's stripped here. Okay, and I just fucking did that to a bunch of tech house songs, a bunch of old school techno songs, although this is only one of them on this one. But like, oops.
Is that that Skrillex song? What is that
Yes.
song?
I think it might be.
Let's go. That's a fun one.
But yeah, this one's like this is one of my favorite arrangements that I'm using right now. Because I like just having a little bit of an intro. It's like 8 and then 16, 8, 16, 16, 16 of like slightly different things happening and being added. And
316.
and then you just get a groove. Actually, I think this one's 24, and then this completes it with an 8. And then you have like a fake drop, basically, and then just drums. So you can just basically, by that point, you're in the next song.
Right.
Kind of thing, because I like making utility tracks a lot. Like, because if I don't watch myself, I'll just make a banger after banger after banger after banger of just like hits. You know, like they're not necessarily hits, but they're
no one
written.
knows what they are.
Right, they're written like they're hits. They're not just like groovers.
Right.
And like I have to like force myself to be like, no, just keep this one really simple, and this one just grooves. Nothing happens. Nothing happens the whole time. And so having stuff like this to just pull from, like all these fucking
Still solo.
and like all these techno tracks are all different lengths, and they all do weird little things that I think are fun. And just I basically make a new track, and in Bitwig it's really nice. I can just fucking make a new project and then go to this one still. And
Is
just,
that like a weird
drag this whole thing in here, and now it's in my drums, which is not where I want it, but now
There you go.
the techno tracks in here, and I can reference it as I need.
Is that like a reference template thing that you have set up with all those tracks?
It's just a project I saved, yeah. So it's
Okay.
just called the template or arrangement mother project, and like it's got just beats, it's got
Arrangement
drum and
mother.
bass, trap,
That's cool.
pop,
the mother of arrangement.
File manager at
House.
its finest. Jeez.
ghetto tech, trance, 4x4 break,
just all the styles.
bass music,
That's so cool.
Bill step.
Oh, what's your bass track?
The bass music is Hodo by Matt Zoe.
Oh, shout out
Matt
Matt
Zoe,
Zoe. Oh
fucking
my
edit.
god.
It's so good.
Yeah. That dude's nuts.
Is it gonna?
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, like this arrangement is fucking wily.
Yeah. That
Intro-
dude's got an
intro.
insane style.
Intro morph.
He doesn't give a
Drop,
fuck.
drop,
He
drop.
does
He doesn't give a
whatever
fuck.
he
Whatever the
wants.
fuck.
Yeah.
It's just all over the place. And the Mr. Bill one, which I just
Oh, you
called
got a little Bill in there?
Bill step. Yeah, it's all over the place, dude. They do like a. This is like 5, 2, 2, or it's like 5, 3, 3, 5, 3, 3, 5, 5, 16.
Is it the
It's like-
phone?
Oh,
on?
bars?
It's it's super weird. It's
Whoa.
super bizarre. But they like catch up every time this
Is it
comes
the
around.
phone on one?
No, it's Ganja White Knight.
Oh,
and
Ganja
him.
White Knight one.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice,
it's really
nice.
interesting.
Yep.
Go over here. Over here.
Even like that intro is like
I know.
throwing you off of the one.
But this throws you off right here. You get like a little bit extra, and it comes back all fucking weird. Yeah, both of these are. This
I haven't heard this one.
is no.
No.
That was good.
Dude, Bill and Ganja. That's a
Yeah,
fun
it's good
combo.
But yeah, this
yeah.
this shit is huge to me. I pulled this shit, and just spending the 2 hours to do all this already just implants in my brain like all the
You
different,
gain
like,
the knowledge
arrangements.
without even having to look back. The fact that you put it down
Right.
kinda
Right.
does the trick.
Right.
The same thing
Yeah.
as like writing shit down to remember it.
Right.
You don't have to
Totally.
look back at it. Just writing it down
Yeah.
physically reminded you later,
Right.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
That was a huge thing I did at like 4 years ago or something, was just break down structures of tracks. And I would go through like Grizz. At the time, Bass Nectar, he wasn't canceled.
Beta.
Beta
You
nectar.
could, yeah. Fucking whatever artist I was pumped on at the time. And yeah, it's so fascinating how people like kind of use the same ideas, but just play with it in a slightly different way, and you get a whole different thing out of it. Like structuring, dude. It's fascinating.
Again, like you brought up, you have to know the rules to break them.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
It's songwriting is just like music where there's no real rules,
Right.
other than what we've just kind of formulated since jazz musicians were cool enough to let us look at their shit, basically. But like, it's kind of free ball, but electronic music does have a tension release kind of format.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
like some sort of a scaffolding there, but it's kind of loose. But it's also kind of strict because you want DJs to play it. And if your
Exactly.
shit's
I was
weird,
just gonna touch on that.
That was-
topic.
I
Like,
was
the
too, yeah.
biggest mistake that I made with the EP I released in April was not knowing the correct format to make this DJable.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it was like, this is what I want it to be. Like, this is me expressing.
Right.
I don't care about the rules currently.
Right.
I
Which
just
Yeah.
wanted to get
is
something out there.
also good though. I also love that shit.
Right.
And you do sound great. I'm not gonna drop names, but I gave it to a couple of the homies to play out, and then so I got to hear it on the other side before it even released, and DJing into both of the tracks was like,
Yeah.
Dude.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I still have that
It's
problem
a
all the
struggle.
time.
Yeah, it's a massive struggle.
Yeah.
so
Getting that down
I
and
don't
just
even play
being
'em.
okay.
because I know that now. Like, so,
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I played them
Like
a
as
couple
fuck.
times, and I'm like, God damn
Yeah.
it, this is tricky. Like I'm not even mad at them.
Yeah.
But I'm
It'll
like,
be
fuck.
easier. It's easier with your own stuff because
Well,
you kind of understand, like, okay, there's one moment I can loop over here
Right,
that
yeah.
will get me in.
Right.
So I guess that's probably a big reason why everything's so cookie cutter for me right now is that like the way I'm making it, it's like nobody's gonna DJ this if it's not in this formula right now.
Yeah, it's great.
So when I referenced Lights is Blue, even the extended mix, he literally comes in, I'm pretty sure the kick low end is cut. So like the bass is going though. And then he builds from there, and that's like totally different for me. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna do that, and it sounded okay, but I don't know if it was just because I'm so used to the other style that I was like, nah, we're not gonna do this.
Yeah.
And I just went right back to the simple, low end cut kick, clap, and some hi hats, and build into everything else from there. But
Right.
that I didn't make it far because of that.
Right.
It was like the first 16 bars, and I was like, yeah, no, this isn't working, and just kicked out another song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like preamble bit before things open up and give the listener like the full spectrum of frequencies and things is really up to you, whatever the fuck you want to do with that.
Right.
Like you can make it dark, or you can make it really crispy, or you can kind of just make it a little bit muffled, or you just make it super simple, or you make it extra as fuck. That works too, because you can always go to simple.
Right. Right.
But like that's a fun territory
It is.
to run around and like play with ideas and things.
It really is.
Leaving the sub in is a pretty fun way to
Yep.
go about it. Like, why not?
The one thing that we kind of stood by as like our pillar of how to make like a DJable intro, basically, is just make sure there's no like really glaring melodic things. Basically,
Yeah, that
like,
hurts.
you can bring in as much shit as you want, including the bass line, because majority of the time you're gonna have the bass cut while you're bringing in the track.
Right.
But like no big, as we like to call them, cool guys.
Cool guy.
That are just like a big vocal or a big synth line or anything like that. Like make sure when you're writing your intro, you kind of leave that till you would be into the track. Kind of.
You could have like a little peek of it.
Yeah, like little,
like,
right, or
and
maybe
you're
it's
like,
way
it
in,
sets
in
you up
the
for it.
background
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
My new
totally.
ear candy group is gonna have a cool guy track.
That's basically, we say that's the key to like your like the core essence of a track, at least to me, is like the cool guy at any given moment.
Sure.
Like at any moment there should be a cool guy, whether it's just the tambourine that just came in for like a quick moment and now it's gone.
The Kim Possible flip.
Exactly.
That's a prime
100%.
example.
100%.
Because I used like the communicator tone. I turned it into the lead, but I also just used like the do like the original tone of it, and it's just like barely there in the intro.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
Yep.
Right.
Yep,
Sets
it
you
is-
up
it is
for
the
what
cool
you're
guy.
about to listen
Right.
to,
Yeah.
but it's not too
It's
much.
huge.
Also, so something
great.
I've been thinking about that a bunch, like the past year and a half or whatever. I sent one of our buddies played the black box, and he wanted me to send him a track, and it was the first time anybody had ever asked me, to do that.
Right.
And I sent him the track, and he's a really good friend. But he got back to me. He was like, "Dude, this is like hard as fuck to mix. Like,
yeah.
this is just weird." And he's
Right,
like,
right.
I'm gonna play it as it is, but he was like, maybe start thinking about this a little bit more. So I've been thinking about that. Yeah, of course, a bunch. And I think the realization I'm coming to is when you're in that moment and you're making the song, the way you kind of did your first EP, like you just let it be expressive and be your artist self, and you let it just be the thing it needs to for that release, and that's fine. But I think the best way to do it is do that where it's just the song, and then maybe you release like a DJ edit version or something, right?
Yeah,
That's dedicated
I've thought
to
about
that.
going back and trying to remake them completely in Ableton because I know they sound that much more crisp and clean. But I've also tried to do that with the original Kim Possible was in Akai MPC, but I remade it in Ableton, and it's not a whole different song, but there's definitely a lot of new elements, and it's pretty much different. But I tried to do it with like one or two other ones, and I was like, this is not working. Like I made I sampled Forrest Gump, the movie Forrest Gump, a lot of the vocals in that. That one, honestly, just because of how personal it is, that's like one of my favorite like early tracks.
Oh, word.
But it was another like hard to DJ one. I think the other one that I was making around the time I had sent out, and some of the feedback I got was like, yeah, you need to make this a little bit more DJable. Extend out your intro, add limited elements and make it easy to mix in. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I did that, but I kind of lost that when I made the User Error EP. So.
Yeah. And dude, that's the
it
thing.
comes and goes.
Yeah, I constantly go back and forth with this. Is like, because you can make a track still be solid, and you can release it and have it be DJable, and any fucking kid in their basement can just YouTube to MP3 it and rip it, if they can't afford to pay for it or whatever kind of thing. And that's sick. But then also part of me, I always just feel like I'm like limiting myself in some sort of way where it's like, okay, you go into making the song with the idea of like, I have to make it DJable, so you're gonna do things just differently, So I think like I don't know, I like that idea of the have the release and then have like a DJ edit release or something like that.
Well, sure.
I'm into that.
I'm also
I
into that.
have no qualms
But
with that
I
idea.
would say
go.
when you originally write the song, might as well make it the DJ edit version because you're going to be DJing it.
Yeah.
And then later when people are like, dude, you got to release this, you're like,
Right.
all right, I'll make a radio
Right.
edit or a VIP.
That's
or
how
Oh,
I
so
would-
do it the other way around.
Yeah,
Right.
That's how I would end up doing
Oh,
it.
Same.
interesting.
Same.
Weird.
All my songs.
I do not have time for that shit.
No, they start as DJ material because that's what I'm making all of this for. Like I'm
Right.
I'm making club tracks.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Then that makes perfect sense.
And then you're like, let me make a more listenable edit
yeah,
that doesn't have fucking,
yeah,
And
30 seconds of hi-hats at the beginning.
There
Yeah.
was a like more of a bass house genre EP, 4 tracks. I'm embarrassed I can't remember the artist. I didn't know I could think about it if I thought I heard enough, but I was obsessed with it, listened to it for weeks on end because the best part was that it was 4 tracks that continuously flowed in order. So like I definitely want to do something like that.
Yeah, those
that's a
are
cool
fun.
yeah,
move,
that's super
right?
fun.
That's a really cool move.
I'm into that.
Yeah,
Respect to
there's-
people who do that with their EP
Yeah,
or
it was
album.
so cool. I loved it. It took me a while to figure it out actually because it wasn't in order when I would listen to it on like shuffle mode or whatever.
Right.
yeah.
And then I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, wait a second, this is sounding familiar.
Right,
And I
right.
put them in order and I was like, yo, this is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
so
I
cool.
fucking love that shit. Well, speaking of orders, we just did an hour.
Yeah, we did.
Already? Holy
Yeah.
shit!
I know. And it's time to hop
We're
into
good at this.
everybody's favorite
Oh, I only have one question.
rapid fire.
I've got one.
That's right.
Oh, Dave's
I
got
got
one.
4.
Uh-huh.
Wait,
Give
I
me-
got
wasn't
4?
prepared for
Give me
Okay.
your questions.
Okay.
No, it's fine. It's opinion based. It's very opinion based. Oh, it's a long one.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Oh, looks like.
Man, I got lost in the sauce. I didn't
looks
even
like
think about
he's
questions.
got 2. I know. I thought about him and I was like, oh, good. We're only half an hour in, so I started getting in early.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
my bad.
So,
Sorry, everybody at home.
for those who don't know, this is the lightning round. We're gonna go through some questions. Give it a little short response, whatever you're feeling. Go in depth if you feel like, but chime on in on this.
Yep, everybody's welcome to chime in.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Restraint in the chat.
Oh, Johnny boy, what's up?
That's right.
Let's go ahead and start down here. Who prefers? Actually, no, that's not the right way to say that. Do you prefer short reverb or long reverb on your drums?
Oh,
Short.
Same.
short. Except for specific moments.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I like
Fun.
to have little moments where
Sends.
like sins. You have a sense.
I was gonna say a similar thing.
It's always short for me.
Yeah.
yeah,
Short. I like the last clap in a phrase.
Exactly.
Either to be in reverb or just to be a totally different clap that's longer. So you get a little more. You get that like weird moment kind of thing.
Yeah, the very last clap, or I really like to do the very first clap. You get a
Oh,
big
fun.
explosion clap, but then everything tightens for the rest.
It-
I like that
yeah.
move.
That's a
Yeah.
good move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would depend on if you have a cool guy hitting on the one.
That it depends on the
Or
cool guy
whatnot,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Depends on the main
Yeah,
elements. Yeah,
there's a balance there.
Right.
Yeah.
Because doing a cool guy in the 4 is also fun. And then, you leave that one open. John says, so short, basically just reflections.
You get one slap back.
Yeah, except for a snare Pride boy. That makes sense. Pride boy.
It's just one single echo pre-delay.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Feedback all the way
60
down.
milliseconds pre-delay on one single delay.
Do you start a track with intention or throw shit at the wall and see where it goes? That's kind of similar to one of mine.
Wait, what?
Do you start a track with intention or just throw shit at the wall and see how it goes?
Yeah.
Sometimes with intention.
I would say both. Yeah,
I know
like,
it's
I'm
a
kind of
very
interested.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely
Thing.
both.
But-
Yeah.
I'm trying to have intention, and then when I don't, I throw shit at the wall.
Nice.
See, my intentions always end up throwing shit at the wall.
Hey.
That'll happen too.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like,
That's
I-
a big one.
okay, so which
Intentionally throw shit at the wall.
yeah, sure. Which side do you guys lean on then? Do you lean into like I'm
Throwing
about
shit at the
to?
wall.
Let's go.
I'd lean on intention.
Oh,
And then
That
shit
makes sense,
getting
I
think so, too.
Shit
Yeah.
getting thrown at the wall is towards that intention.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The future approach is the other way around. But the intention is mainly like old school hip hop that I remember from, younger
Let's
age
go.
that I want to like flip on some vocals or
Sick.
like I tried to do 5 on it recently. It was sounding okay, but not perfect. So it turned into something else. Like I just used the beat for something else.
Yeah, exactly. Then you use the thing. That's a good tip. That's a really good tip.
That is.
I got to
make
to
a
show
flip. Pull the original shit that you're flipping out of it, and then have your own track.
I have a Gwen Stefani flip. That's what happened when I pulled it in from Bitwig from Ableton into Bitwig. The
Oh.
vocals disappeared. I can't find them anywhere on my computer. the program can't find them either. So there's just this Gwen Stefani flip with no Gwen Stefani happening. And it sounds kind of sick. But I only spent like 20 minutes on it. Like, it's not finished, but I don't know where to go with it because it's missing the Gwen Stefani element. And I'm like, shit, I don't know what to do.
There's two others that started the same way. One turned into something else. The other one I didn't give up on. It's
That is a vibe, though.
the Bad Boys.
Hell yeah.
Bad Boys. What you gonna do?
Oh,
What you gonna do when they come
did you
for
really?
bad
My dad
boys?
gave me that idea, actually.
That's a good one, dude.
Let's go.
Dude, I bet your dad watches Cops. Shout out. Fucking
And then
quality
the other
television.
one is 6 Days. Like the I can't remember the artist. Again, I'm bad at
You're
artists.
good. I don't
But like
judge.
the Tokyo Drift, that was
Oh,
yeah,
bum,
yeah.
bum, bum, bum.
at the starting of the week. It's only
Let's
Monday.
go.
Dude,
Let's go.
I have,
Yeah,
I
it's
literally, I have like 4 remixes on my USB, just because that song is so much fun, and you can translate it to anything. Like,
It's such a
you
good
just-
one.
yeah, I love that.
With
Trick. Any
with
one.
Trick, I will go first on this.
Okay.
Oh,
Comb filters.
yeah. Company. If you guys know Company, big dubstep guy. He really likes using comb filters
So-
to add with.
Yeah. Shout out Kilohertz, sponsor us.
Yep.
Their comb filter has just a stereo button. You just click on it and it automatically just stereoizes. But you're basically just trying to throw a different comb filter on the left and the right.
Yep.
And it just
Yep.
separates them because it's a
Oh,
wacky,
big time, yeah.
wacky EQ.
You could have them pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Just kind of barely there.
You can
'Cause it's
even-
just adding nodes.
You can make your
Right.
own in like Pro Q
Yeah,
or
you just
EQ8.
Make a bunch of ups
left
and
to right
downs.
and just
just start
random
fucking around. Yeah.
Totally.
send-
Yep.
Yeah.
Took me a second to remember what Kaiju was saying here. I think it's one of my songs from the EP, the vocals. The Rough Spice vocal, and I don't know when
Phoebe's?
Phoebe's. I don't know when they dropped that, whether it was before or after me. But the vocal sample is like the same.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
Love it when that happens, when
I
you're like,
know.
I know that sample very well.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
That's the
I
dangerous
listened to it
slice.
500 times.
The dangerous
Yeah.
slice.
Yep.
John says multi-band
What?
addition of chorus, then removing mid.
Oh, let's go.
You're such a nerd, John. I'm gonna try that. That sounds wild.
Multi-band addition.
That's cool. That's like the more advanced
Multi-band
version
chorus.
of what I was about to say.
What? Right. So you're multi-band chorusing,
Right.
and then I assume you remove the mid out of the chorus.
I love that. I would go
And
like
then-
a.
No, I don't think you're
Dry
multi-band
wet?
chorusing. I think you're just multi-band splitting and then adding chorus. Oh, no, never
No.
mind. Never mind.
Interesting.
That's fun.
Interesting.
That's
I
cool. I was going to say chorus is
you're
one I've
doing
been
that.
hyped on.
You're doing that
Right,
like
different amounts of
parallel, correct? Like
Right.
next to the dry signal, I would assume.
Mm.
I was gonna say like a tape delay effect, like a warbly kind of vibe.
Huge.
Just 2 different ones on the left and
Yep.
right channel, and then you can choose whether you want to then do a wet dry on that.
What's super sick about that, and you can kind of get it with comb filtering if you put random on the position of the comb
Right.
filter. If you do too much, it'll
You get the weird, yeah.
But with the warble, occasionally they'll come back into phase. Very rarely, so it'll go
Oh.
from like wide to kind of.
Oh,
it'll kind
a
of
little
center
stereo
out
play.
a little bit,
Yeah.
or like kind of lean left or lean right.
Yeah.
That shit's sauce.
Also,
That's cool.
anything that's like kind of randomly giving you a difference is sick as fuck for the mix because it always is unique. So therefore, you hear it better,
Yeah.
which is very nice.
One Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have found that sometimes, like I mentioned, I do the auto pan to help. Sometimes it's almost a lot harder to hear for me, so I'll end up resorting back to like one of the different kind of preset waveforms for the auto pan. But
Sure.
it doesn't happen too often, and it's probably mainly the sample I was using. But
Right.
Sometimes
'cause it-
like random chaos can be.
There's a
too
lot
much.
of finesse in these things too.
There is.
You know,
Oh
like,
yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
you can figure
Huge.
it out to where you get it to work right for you.
it gives you like that
Yeah.
big range of where you can set the waveforms randomness, but sometimes
Right.
it just doesn't fit with the sounds for me.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. That's the sauce right there.
Okay, next one's a quick one.
Oh, wait. I
Did
want to
you
add one
answer?
more.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
want to give one more. So one I've been pumped on lately is Wider by
infected mushroom.
Infected
Everybody loves
mushroom.
that one.
Yeah.
I love that one too.
It's a
but
fun. I
it
like,
rarely
never
works.
used it till recently. Yeah.
It doesn't always work because if you sub to mono afterwards, it gets a little squirrely.
So that's the thing.
Right.
The spectral nature of just what that plugin is, it can be a lot. I've done like anything
Right.
over 40% wide, it becomes this weird like. It feels
Which
like
can be
so
fun.
unnatural. It can
I've
be.
done a
You can
couple
also
of
wet
sound
dry
design
it.
things with it. Right.
Yeah.
At that point, and then,
Right. Just group it, wet
Yeah.
dry that bad boy. I've done similar things sound design wise with that plugin. But yeah, it can be a little squirmy. But 40% is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It just gives
40%.
a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of goosing it out a little bit, just kind of spreading it like jam on a cracker.
Yeah, I feel like when you have a plugin giving you like weird phase issues with your mono signal, there's like a couple tricks you can like. There's a few things you could do to make that not as happening, which would be like if you slightly pitch it off, it almost will just fix that problem. Like as a separate, so you
Right.
just wet dry the
On a wet
thing.
dry, yeah.
Yep, and then so on that wet signal, you just pitch it slightly differently. Now it's not going to phase out your mono signal.
Yeah.
Or you could like swap the left and the right, or you could switch the phase of
the
each
phase.
thing. Like there's a few things you can, if you fuck with the thing that's on the sides enough, it's not going to fuck with the mid thing, which is kind of
Right.
ideal anyway. You kind of just want to get it out of the way. I like putting like a convolution, like I was talking about, for something like that, just
Sure.
to put it in its own box, and then I'll fuck with it from there.
Oh, there you
Right,
go.
right.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And then clip mid side.
Yeah,
Bring it
fuck
back.
yeah, dude.
Bring it back.
Hey. Busy songs or minimal songs?
Oh.
I wrote that with no I's. It's MNML. Minimal.
Minimal.
Personally, I like minimal songs.
Yeah.
I like busy songs, but more often than not, I like the minimal ones.
Yeah, I'm going minimal as well.
More minimal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always going to sound more crisp, in my opinion.
Right, right.
True.
I like when people can find that balance where it seems very full and huge and like seems like a lot is happening, but when you really break it down, not a lot is happening.
Oh yeah.
That's my shit. Cause like
That's my
there's
shit.
songs
That's
like
my
Troy Boy. What is the fucking Do You? That song is sick. That's like a really sick amount of minimalism, and it's like very, very empty, very empty. But then guys like Tipper can do this thing where it's like this illusion of a lot happening, but really not that much is happening. But it feels like very full and in your face.
Right.
I like that kind of idea.
John says, well-tailored busy.
Well-tailored busy.
AKA restraint.
Yeah.
Well tailored busy.
Yeah, a.k.a. restraint.
I'm on that vibe. Yeah. I
All
like
right.
that.
Gut reactions here. Fart noises or no?
Fart noises.
Yes, is what I'm saying.
I was part where I was watching the Justin Martin and Justin J little thing they did recently, and I don't know if anyone knew this before, but he admitted that the very first ever Dirty Bird record label track has a fart sound in it.
I believe
No,
I
what?
believe you.
He
That-
snuck it in?
Be the heart of
What?
Dirty Bird right
They
there.
were like all about weird, so yeah, there's totally a fart
That's
sample
fucking
in
amazing.
first ever track.
That's so amazing.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Fart sample for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fart.
For sure.
Fart samples.
Did you
Okay,
guys
we're
see
all on board.
We're all in agreement on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you guys see the clip of Dylan Francis?
I was
His
just
Yeah.
gonna bring
fart
that
thing?
up.
Yeah.
Dude hands him
So
an
funny.
empty
Yeah.
USB with nothing but a fart.
Nothing but a single
He totally
fart.
he gets it in, and not a single person in the crowd seems to.
Yeah.
realize
No,
it either.
no,
That's-
No
nobody's paying
notices.
attention, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody. Us in the club is like a rarity. Everyone else is just like not paying attention.
Yeah.
What is your key source of inspo?
Wow.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Drum and bass songs. I'll be perfectly honest.
nice.
Just drum and bass songs, the riffs and shit. I'm always just like, oh, what a sick ass riff. I'm gonna fucking slow that down, or I'm gonna speed that up, or I'm gonna, make my own version of that riff. Like I just like
You
riffs.
do that all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it always turns out so different
Way
than whatever the
different.
fuck they
you would
made.
never have guessed.
But
like,
it's the
this was
biggest-
my reference.
Right, and a lot of times I get so sidetracked that it doesn't mean that riff is an inspiration for the first 5 minutes. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it helps a lot. I just listen to a little bit of drum and bass until I'm like, oh, I want to do something like that. That's cool. And then off to the races. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yep. What about you, Forrest?
Yes, Bo.
Honestly, some of the few people I met before I even got into producing, maybe you guys know him. He goes by Stryer. His name's Michael Stryer. He's like with Bear Grylls and whatnot. He's played Roto Rocks a few times.
Word. Heavy dub stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's more like future based, but
Okay.
regardless, shout out Stryer. I met him on Lincoln in the East Towel Ramen Noodle Shop. It was
Nice.
like the first job I got when I moved out here.
Lincoln. Oh, I see.
And it's I think they're called the Bolovian Apartments or something. There's a bunch of different little restaurants in the bottom. He was playing a private party there that night.
No way.
This was 5 years ago, and within like 3.5, 4 years, whatever it was, he was playing Red Rocks. So like to see somebody who has that real drive, motivation, and to be able to make it, I was like, wow, if he can do it, then truly, like I told you earlier, the only thing stopping me was myself. So
Yeah.
100%.
Let's go.
Yep.
That's
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
sick, man. That's really cool. I think something I always go back to, because I'm really hyped on the idea of like trying to push the envelope and push boundaries and try and find something new to give to the world. Anytime I'm in like a rut, I always just go back to Nickelback or Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst,
Skate shoes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Can I
some
get
good shit right there.
Can I get a holler on the soundboard for that or what?
Woo! And innovators forever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. You find inspiration everywhere,
Oh, yeah.
I think I find, without giving like really an example, is like I find more inspiration outside of music. Like for
sure.
whatever reason, yeah.
same.
I mean,
Yeah.
Same.
I would agree with that. That's why I play lots of video games.
Yeah, video games.
Like I truly get inspired a fuckload from video
I know,
games.
right?
It could be an FPS.
Yeah.
Dude, I played
does not matter.
Scorn the other day or the other month, whatever, and I was so pumped. Do you guys know what
Right,
Scorn
because
is?
all the squishy flesh sounds.
Fleshy, squishy,
Yeah.
and like all the art is like this really like dark psychedelic industrial shit, and I was like, can I just like live in this environment? Like this is insane.
Hilarious.
I know.
Hilarious.
That's amazing.
Appreciation of creativity
Yeah.
in all forms of like art is truly what is inspiring for sure.
Fuck yeah,
Right.
right? Exactly, man. Exactly. Well said. Exactly that.
Dave, you got anything to cap it off there?
Is this our last one?
Yeah, this is our last one.
Okay, yeah. My inspirations, America, capitalism, and pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Goddamn fucking right.
Jesus, the Holy Trinity, right there.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah,
Obviously.
you can't beat that for inspiration.
Never heard a better answer for inspiration. driven.
Fucking goddamn right. His tits are red, white, and blue, dude. And shaped like vaginas.
Amazing.
I can't confirm that. That's rumor.
Oh,
Rarely nude.
Folks, thanks for tuning in. Episode 114 with our good guest here, Forrest, a.k.a.
thank
User
you for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
00215.
That's awesome.
Where can people find you?
It's at user00215 _music on Instagram.
Boom.
There it is.
Yes.
And then that can help you as well. Or user00215.com. That will give you all my social links.
There you go.
It keeps
There you
up
go.
like on
You
a
also-
calendar and everything else.
Perfect.
You have a show coming up with Infected Mushroom
Yep, so that's the September 23rd Danceportation Meow Wolf.
That's who it's with?
at Meow Wolf.
I didn't know it was with
Dude.
Infected Mushroom.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I've seen Infected Mushroom more than I've seen anyone else.
Yep.
Get
I
us,
haven't-
on, get
I
us on the
haven't
list
seen
for
them.
that one.
Yeah, you got a list or what?
Oh, unfortunately.
Also, I saw Freaky
it's not-
Boy.
I
It'll
figured
jump
as
up.
much with that show.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
Freaky Boyo's also playing, so we got a little homie
Yes.
event.
nice. Let's go.
Frick's also
I think we
playing.
have to show up.
Actually worth. Let's fucking do it.
God damn.
And then,
All right, folks.
Thursday night, I'm playing at Steam as well.
Let's go.
Well, folks, by the time because this comes out, that will have already happened.
Yeah, you better be here.
But you, all of you live, you're
Yes.
gonna show up.
You're
That's
showing
right,
up.
folks.
You're showing up.
Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. As always, you can also go to always400.com,
always400.com.
and that has all of our links. And hit the sub button, hit the follow button, hit the like button, or
Make
don't.
a comment.
Doesn't really matter
Call
to
us
me.
stupid. Give us 1 star. Give us 5 stars.
Yeah, but
Don't give a fuck.
some kind of interaction would be tight. We don't promote. So,
Yeah, share that shit.
love you guys. We'll talk to you guys next
Peace.
Peace out,
week.
everybody.
Later.
Bye.